I have a game that I've been developing for months now, where you play as a monster. You play as a harmless wisp that has the ability to transform and animate objects and create monsters with different abilities and gameplay. And the goal of our game is to eliminate human invaders exploiting resources from your island home. With this concept in mind, one of our development goals is to design and make our enemies smart, since that's how humans should work fighting against monsters, right? Our human enemies should be smart and have the ability and behaviors of humans where they work together as a team to bring you, the monster, down. So at the moment, we already have behaviors added to them. One example of many behaviors added is their ability to surround you and find attack opportunities when you're open. And I want to expand on this behavior by giving them the ability to communicate with each other. Let's give them voices and have them coordinate their attacks. If you're new here, my team and I are making a reverse RPG game where you play as the monsters instead of the usual RPG heroes we play. And we make devlog videos for the development progress of our game. If you're interested in following our development, feel free to subscribe to get updated. Also, we are live on Steam and you can already wishlist our game. So previously, we already implemented a system to manage our sound. Also, all the behaviors for the mercenary guards are already set. So with all the core features already implemented, it should be easier for us to add the necessary elements needed to make our mercenary group talk to each other in combat. Let's start with how we should approach this feature, or how we categorize it. First, we need to consider the voices. We need to have multiple voices for each enemy type. This way, they will not sound redundant or repetitive. Here are examples of voices that Alex made.
Flank around, keep him reeling. Come from around. Don't let it get you alone. Away, away, keep formation. Keep the structure, rattle them. Attack when his back's to you. Call out, coordinate. Guard up, guard up.
Next, we need to consider the type of voices they are speaking from. For example, we want the guards to be rugged and untrained, since they're just prisoners from the mainland who just want to earn their freedom by working for the church. While the acolyte, we want them to sound noble or high class, since they are apprentices from the church and basically they are the employers of the mercenaries, sent by the church to gather life essence for them to use as fuel for their magic. Now that we have voice types and attitudes, the next thing we need are events. We need to make a list of events that will happen in combat, and these events will have a random voice line that fits the situation of the event. For example, when a mercenary guard sees you, they should play a voice line related to that event, just like this.
Over there, at arms, at arms.
Or, if the acolyte, their employer, is getting attacked, they should say something related to that event, just like this.
Protect him! Don't let it get close!
This is the core foundation of our dialogue system for the enemy groups. Let's start from here and expand on the feature as we go on with the development. Alright, here I made a script that will manage the voice lines and events for each enemy group. Before anything else, I need to explain what an enemy group is. An enemy group is a set of enemies with certain behaviors when dealing battle with you. For instance, our mercenary group. Their behavior is centered on the acolyte, and their way of combat is circling their enemies and finding openings for them to hit you. They also prioritize protection of their employer when the acolyte is threatened. They have a rear guard that always protects the acolyte, and on certain emergencies when you target the acolyte, they will rush towards you to defend their employer. This is just one of the enemy groups in the game that we'll be encountering. Another one is the Tree Hunters group, where their goal is to hunt tree creatures, and their behavior revolves around fire. If you encounter them, their behavior in combat is to circle around you and find flammable objects like bushes to set aflame. This way, tree creatures like our small forest nymph will have no place to hide when being hunted by this group. There are other enemy groups that I'll be introducing in the future. For now, let's focus on the mercenary group. So, each group will have their own ways of communicating. That's why it's essential to make our script for the voice lines unique for every enemy group. For our mercenary group, this is how the enemy dialogue controller works. First, I add all the enemies that are related to the mercenary group. Here we have 8 guards, 6 torchbearers, and 4 acolytes. Then each of these enemy groups have their very own voice type, which will determine the type of voice they'll be using. Also, there are some settings I added to prevent the enemies from speaking all at once. So we made some intervals for them so that they will not speak at the same time. And only they will speak if the cooldown has been refreshed. This way, our enemies will not sound annoying, having everyone speak too much. Now for events. So our enemies will react to the event that will happen in combat. There will be a lot of events happening in combat, and we need to specify these voice lines in our enemy dialogue controller. Let's test and listen to an event where they spot us for the first time. So here are some dialogues that will randomly play.
At arms! One of them's coming! At arms! One of them's coming! Over there! At arms! By the trees over there! Get ready, lads! There! Enemy! You see over there? Combat lines, lads!
All of these voice lines are voiced by Alex, and we will have more voice lines and voice types in the future. Next, let's test voice lines for when they're approaching us and engaging us in battle. So basically, they're just combat chatters. Let's hear them.
Keep your guard up! Don't let it land the blows! Flank around, keep them reeling! Come from around! Don't let it get you alone! Away! Away! Keep formation! Keep the structure, rattle them! Attack what is backs to you! Guard it up lads! Keep the defense going! Call out lads! Coordinate!
These voice lines will play when the enemy is circling us, or is about to engage in battle with us. Here's another event. This will trigger when our acolyte is attacked, and they will rush towards us while a member of the team speaks some of these lines. Let's hear them.
Don't let it get to him! Protect him, don't let it get close! Don't let it get to him! Protect him! Don't let it get close! Fuck's sake, keep it away from him! Defense! Defensive formations around the acolyte! Don't let it break through the line!
Here's another event where the rear guard decides to stop chasing you and stays and defends the acolyte. Let's hear it.
I'll stay with the acolyte! Staying back to defend! I'm defending, not gonna follow!
And here's another for when the rear guard is too far away from the acolyte and the acolyte is at risk of being attacked.
Rear guard, get back to your position! Rear guard, back to your post!
Then we also have some lines for when the guards have low stamina. They will attempt to replenish them by guarding and moving away from battle. Here's how it sounds.
Someone cover! I'm back!
Then we have events depending on the combat outcome. So for combat, there are different outcomes that will happen, and these outcomes will determine the enemy group's morale. And this morale system is based on how they're doing in battle. Morale will start off as neutral, and in combat, they will have a neutral battle chatter, just like this.
Keep it step! Don't let it get the upper hand! He's tough! Keep at it! Parry on my side! Watch it! My line! Watch it, line! Keep it tight! Keep the pressure going on, lads! Don't let up! Keep your send busy, boys! I'm on him! I'm on him! Blow and chase! I'm on a lockstep! With the philo, boys! With the philo! Watch the footwork!
Then, depending on the outcome of the battle, their morale will increase if they see that the monster or us the player is losing in battle, or their morale will decrease if they see that their group is slowly getting eliminated. So here are some sample lines for combat chatter for enemies with high morale.
We're getting it, boys! Keep the pressure on! He's falling! Let's finish him off! Put him back where they belong, lads! In the fucking ground! Come on! Keep the blows on him! He's falling! Push, boys! He's weak! Parry it, lads! He's slow! Softer than a caudal! Let's finish it, lads!
And here's some sample lines for low combat morale chatters.
Cover your sand! Cover your sand! We're getting torn to pieces! Don't let it get close! Fucking hell! Help, sand!
We're getting torn to pieces! Defense, lads! Defend! Keep guarding! Don't let him land his fucking blows! Don't let it get close! Don't let it get close! Keep the structure strong! Don't let it through! Keep it in a defensive shape! Look it through, we can counterattack! It's on my side! Switch up! The line! The line! Like in training, keep it at bay!
Then we have lines when they flee from battle. Here are some samples for it.
Break off the attack! Get out! Fucking hell, boys! Retreat! It's over! Retreat! He's too fucking strong!
Then we have some lines for when the skeleton breaks and we're in wisp form. When we're on wisp form, the goal for this group will shift from combat to wisp hunt mode, where they will throw Aether Flask at you to capture you. Here are some lines.
Get the Aether at the ready! With the flask, man! With the flask!
Then, if they fail to capture you, and you reconjure back your monster, it'll say these lines.
It's coming back! In positions! Back to formation! The shite's coming back!
Or if they succeed in capturing you and putting you in an Aether vessel, you'll hear this line.
Nicely done, boys! We'll be getting paid handsomely tonight!
Then we have some voice lines that react to spells hitting you. Here, we have voice lines when the binding spell that the Acolyte casts hits you. Let's listen to them.
He's bound! Charge it! He's hit! Get him! He's hit! Get the fucker! Quick! Charge it!
There are many scenarios that will happen in battle, and mostly these scenarios happen in a group, since for communication to happen, you need at least 2 people communicating with each other. But what if there's only one enemy left? So we made some voice lines when there's only one enemy standing. So here's some lines for when the enemy is fighting you alone.
I'll fucking kill you! Please, God, get away! Leave me! Get away from me! I'll fucking bury you! Curse you! Curse you! Get away!
And here's some for when they are fleeing from battle.
No! Please, get away! God, get it away! Leave me! Please, leave me! You fucking demon, get away!
Then we have some voice lines for maimed enemies.
Please! Please! No! I beg! No! Please!
There's still a lot of voice line events that will happen in battle. In fact, currently we have 121 voice lines for one voice type for one type of enemy. We're still figuring out how to optimize them, or if we really need these lines at all. I think having more lines is good and more immersive since voice lines seldom repeat. But I also need to think about optimization, the size of the game's asset, not to mention the funding and the cost of these voice lines. Balancing these features will surely happen in the future. So currently, most voice lines are made by Alex, and the plan is to outsource some of them from voice actors, or maybe some of our volunteers. But first, we need to complete the dialogue system for the mercenary group before we expand this feature, so stay tuned for more updates. I'd like to thank my Patreons for supporting us with the funding of our game's asset. I couldn't have made it this far without you guys supporting us. And if by any chance that some of you guys want to help us out, I'll leave a link to our Patreon page down below. And for those who want to help us out as volunteers, you can contact us via Discord and we'll see what tasks are available for your skill set. In our next video, we'll segue a bit on our sound design series since we're still waiting for some assets Alex and the other Alex are making. Basically, these are music for our game's combat and some sound effects that Alex or Box is making. While waiting for these assets, we'll be talking about our game's location and coordinates. We'll talk about where our game's island is situated in the real world and how real-life coordinates affect our game's lighting. Till next time.